Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. You guys have given us some amazing questions and answers for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at ancient civilizations.
Really, spanning the globe?
Yeah, like all over the place. We're going to start in Mesoamerica.
And then we'll swing over to China.
Yeah, for like a really in-depth look.
Got the dynasties there.
So much cool stuff to unpack.
Yeah, empires and innovations.
Art rebellions.
Maybe even a little poetry along the way.
All right, so let's start in Mesoamerica with the city of Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan.
Yeah, and it's known for its massive pyramids.
Oh yeah, absolutely massive. Some of the largest in the world.
Yeah, and I mean, just picture a city so grand, it was one of the largest urban centers in its time.
Really hard to even imagine.
I know, right? And what's crazy is we still don't know exactly who built it.
I know, it's a real mystery.
Or what caused its decline.
There's a lot of theories out there.
Like it's a giant puzzle with missing pieces.
And archaeologists and historians are still trying to put it all together.
Yeah. What stories are those ancient stones whispering? Okay, so moving on, we have the Maya.
The Maya.
And these folks were light years ahead in their understanding of astronomy and math.
Light years ahead.
They created this incredibly intricate calendar system.
Not just for keeping track of birthdays.
No, this was deeply intertwined with their religious beliefs and their understanding of the cosmos.
The cosmos, yeah. It wasn't just about observing the stars.
No, they built impressive city-states throughout the Yucatan Peninsula.
And those city-states flourished for centuries.
Their art, their architecture, their writing system. I mean, it still speaks volumes about their ingenuity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, so from the jungles of the Yucatan, let's head south to the Andes Mountains.
There's the Andes.
Home of the mighty Inca Empire.
Mighty Inca.
And I mean, everyone has seen those breathtaking photos of Machu Picchu.
It's like something out of a dream.
Perched high in the mountains.
Built with such precision, it seems to defy gravity.
I know. And the Inca were master builders and engineers.
Their stonework is legendary.
It's legendary, but what truly sets them apart is their unique system of record keeping.
Using knotted cords called quipu.
Quipu. Imagine governing this vast empire without a written language.
Talk about administrative skills.
I know, and it makes you think about the different ways that knowledge can be stored.
And passed down through generations.
Exactly. Okay, our last stop in Mesoamerica takes us to the Aztecs.
The Aztecs.
They're often remembered for their powerful rulers.
Complex religious practices.
And let's just say some intense rituals.
But there's more to their story.
Absolutely. We have to remember that our understanding of the Aztecs is often shaped by the perspective of their conquerors.
Right.
While their practices could be fierce, their society was also highly organized.
Very sophisticated systems of agriculture.
Trade and governance.
They even had a mandatory education system.
Which was quite progressive for their time.
Really ahead of the curve.
Mesoamerica truly had a wealth of incredible civilizations.
So many.
All right, so now let's journey to ancient China.
Okay, to China.
A land of epic battles, dynasties that rose and fell.
And a cultural explosion that continues to influence the world today.
And what's fascinating about this era in Chinese history is the constant change.
Yeah, empires crumbled. New leaders emerged.
And the map of China was redrawn time and again.
It's like a historical drama.
With power struggles, alliances, and betrayals.
All the good stuff.
So let's set the stage for this historical drama.
All right.
We're starting with the Three Kingdoms period.
Three Kingdoms.
Which kicked off in 220 CE.
After the mighty Han dynasty collapsed.
So imagine this, the Han dynasty, which had ruled for centuries, crumbles due to internal strife and corruption.
A familiar story.
And from its ashes, three powerful kingdoms emerge.
Wei Shu and Wu.
Each vying for control of China.
It's like a power vacuum waiting to be filled.
Right. So tell me, who were the main players in this epic battle for supremacy?
Well, each kingdom had a charismatic leader.
With their own ambitions and strategies.
Cao Pi established the Wei Kingdom.
Known for its military strength.
Then there was Liu Bei, a descendant of the Han imperial family.
He was leading the Shu kingdom.
And he was admired for his benevolence and loyalty.
And finally we have Sun Quan.
A cunning strategist who ruled the Wu kingdom.
And they dominated southeastern China.
Yeah, they were a force to be reckoned with.
Ambitious leaders warring kingdoms. I can already see the movie trailer.
Me too.
But this isn't Hollywood, this is real history.
And things get even more intense.
As we move into the period following the Three Kingdoms.
Oh yeah, buckle up.
So after the Three Kingdoms, the Jin dynasty briefly unified China.
But its reign was short-lived.
Internal conflict within the ruling family led to the brutal Eight Princes War.
Brutal is right.
Which weakened the dynasty.
But paved the way for further chaos.
This period of upheaval ultimately led to the 16 kingdoms,
A time of constant warfare and shifting alliances.
as various ethnic groups vied for control.
It was a real roller coaster ride.
Amidst all this turmoil, a new power was emerging in the north,
In the north,
the Northern Wei dynasty,
the northern,
established by the Xianbai people,
who were initially considered barbarians.
by the Han Chinese. But what's fascinating is how they adopted many Chinese customs,
And governing practices.
essentially integrating themselves into the existing cultural fabric.
It wasn't just about brute force.
No, they understood the importance of adapting and assimilating to solidify their rule,
Exactly. And Emperor Shaoan
the key figure in this dynasty,
implemented reforms like the equal field system
aimed at distributing land more fairly among farmers
to reduce social unrest.
and boost agricultural production.
It was a smart move,
He also introduced the three chiefs system,
which created a hierarchy of local administrators.
responsible for maintaining order and collecting taxes.
Very organized.
So he was trying to create a more stable and unified society.
Blending the traditions of the Xianbei with the existing Chinese administrative systems.
It's impressive how they managed to achieve so much despite the turbulent times.
Yeah, they were really effective.
And speaking of impressive, amidst all the political turmoil, this period also witnessed a cultural flourishing in China.
The flourishing.
You had the Buddhist monk Faxian,
Faxian.
who embarked on an incredible pilgrimage to India.
Bringing back valuable scriptures and Buddhist teachings.
Can you imagine that journey?
No planes, trains, or automobiles.
Just pure determination
It speaks volumes about the thirst for knowledge.
and spiritual enlightenment that existed even back then.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
So while empires were rising and falling, culture was flourishing.
And ideas were spreading across vast distances.
And right alongside these grand adventures, you had poets like Tao Qian,
Makokian,
who are crafting idyllic works like Peach Blossom Spring.
which imagined a utopia hidden away from the chaos of the world.
It's fascinating how art and literature can provide a refuge from the storms of reality.
Absolutely a way to escape.
This era had it all: political intrigue, ambitious rulers, cultural exchange, and a yearning for peace amidst chaos.
A real mix.
And that blend of ambition and artistry will continue to shape China,
As we enter the Sui dynasty
or we'll witness another attempt to unify a fractured empire
and lay the foundation for what is often considered a golden age.
in Chinese history. But that, my friend, is a story for part 2 of our deep dive.
Stay tuned.
We'll be back soon to explore the Sui dynasty and its legacy.
It's going to be good.
Welcome back to our historical adventure. Last time we left off with China on the verge of a new era. The Sui dynasty get ready for ambitious reforms, grain construction projects, and of course, a healthy dose of palace intrigue.
The Sui dynasty emerged from the chaos of the 16 Kingdoms period, a time of division and conflict. It's a testament to the Sui's strength and ambition that they were able to reunite China after centuries of fragmentation.
So let's talk about the mastermind behind this reunification. Tell me about Yang Jin, the founder of the Sui dynasty. What kind of leader was he?
Yang Jin, who took the title Emperor Wen, was a shrewd strategist and a skilled administrator. He understood that true power lay not just in military might, but also in establishing a stable and prosperous society.
He sounds like a leader who knew how to play the long game. So how did Emperor Wen go about transforming a fragmented China into a unified empire?
Well, he started by building a brand new capital city. Daxingcheng, later renamed Cheng'an, this magnificent city with its wide avenues, bustling markets, and impressive palaces, became a symbol of the Sui dynasty's power and ambition.
It's like he was sending a message to the world. A unified China is back, and it's here to stay. But a grand capital city is just one piece of the puzzle. What about the nuts and bolts of governing this vast empire? What kind of reforms did Emperor Wen implement?
He implemented a series of sweeping reforms that had a profound impact on Chinese society. One of his key initiatives was the equal field system, which aimed to distribute land more equitably among farmers. This helped to reduce social unrest by addressing land inequality and also boosted agricultural production, which was essential for feeding a growing population.
So it was a win-win situation, a more stable society and a more prosperous economy. I'm sensing a pattern here. It seems like Emperor Wen was all about creating systems that would benefit both the people and the state.
You're absolutely right. He was a pragmatist who understood that a strong and stable empire required a content and productive populace, and that brings us to his next major reform. The three-tax system, the simplified system, streamlined the process of tax collection, making it easier for the government to generate revenue and fund its ambitious projects.
Okay, so we've got land reform and tax reform. What else is on Emperor Wen's to-do list? I mean, a unified empire needs a strong defense, right?
Absolutely. Emperor Wen recognized the importance of a robust military, but he also understood the dangers of concentrating too much power in the hands of a few. So he established the prefectural military system, which decentralized military power by relying on local militias for defense. This not only strengthened border security, but also helped to curb the influence of powerful warlords who might pose a threat to his authority.
So he's thinking strategically, not just about expanding the empire, but also about maintaining stability and control. It's amazing how he addressed so many different aspects of governance, but there's one reform that really stands out as a game changer. The beginnings of the civil service examination system. Tell me more about that.
The civil service examination system, though still in its early stages during the Sui dynasty, was a revolutionary concept. It aimed to select government officials based on merit rather than noble birth or connections. This opened up opportunities for talented individuals from all walks of life to serve in the government, breaking down the traditional barriers of aristocracy and privilege.
It's like he was creating a meritocracy, ensuring that the most capable individuals were in positions of power. What a visionary. So Emperor Wen laid a solid foundation for the Sui dynasty, but as we know, dynasties, like all things, eventually come to an end. What about his successor? Tell me about Emperor Yangdi, the second Sui emperor. What was his legacy?
Emperor Yangdi is a complex and controversial figure. He was a man of great ambition and vision, but his reign was also marked by costly projects and military campaigns that ultimately contributed to the Sui dynasty's downfall.
It sounds like he inherited his father's ambition, but perhaps not his restraint.
Perhaps one of Yangdi's most ambitious undertakings was the construction of the Grand Canal. This massive waterway connected northern and southern China, facilitating trade and communication between these two regions. It was a truly remarkable feat of engineering, a testament to the Sui dynasty's power and ingenuity.
I can only imagine the scale of this project. It must have been a monumental task to complete. But you mentioned that Yangdi's ambitions also contributed to the Sui dynasty's decline. What happened?
While the Grand Canal was a visionary project, its construction required immense resources and labor. This, coupled with Yangdi's other ambitious projects and his costly military campaigns against Goguryeo and Korea, placed a heavy strain on the empire's finances and led to widespread resentment among the populace.
So his ambition ultimately backfired. It's a reminder that even the grandest visions can have unintended consequences.
Exactly. And those unintended consequences, combined with internal rebellions and a growing sense of dissatisfaction with the Sui dynasty's rule, ultimately led to its downfall in 618 CE.
What a dramatic turn of events. It's like watching a Shakespearean tragedy unfold. A dynasty rises to great heights, only to be brought down by its own ambitions.
And from the ashes of the Sui dynasty, a new era will dawn in China. The Tang dynasty, but that, my friend, is a story for our next installment.
Stay tuned, everyone. The saga of ancient China continues. We'll be back soon to delve into the Tang dynasty and its lasting legacy. I'm sure we're back and ready to dive into the Tang dynasty.
The Tang dynasty.
Which is often considered a golden age in Chinese history, right?
Yeah, and for good reason. I mean, we're talking unprecedented territorial expansion.
A flourishing economy.
And a vibrant cultural scene.
With some of China's most celebrated art, literature, and technological advancements.
It's a really remarkable period.
So tell me about the founder, Li Yuan. What was his role in establishing this golden age?
Well, Li Yuan was actually a Sui dynasty official.
Oh, so he was already in the mix.
Yeah, and he saw the weakness at the heart of the Sui.
And a chance to create a new, more stable dynasty.
Exactly. He seized the opportunity
to establish the Tang dynasty in 618 CE.
That's right.
Okay, so a bit of an opportunist.
Maybe a little.
But hey, sometimes it takes a bold move to make history.
Right. You got to take your shot.
So it was Li Yuan's son, Li Shimin, who really consolidated the Tang dynasty's power.
Li Shimin.
And set it on the path to greatness.
Known as Emperor Taizong.
Emperor Taizong.
He's considered one of the most remarkable emperors in Chinese history.
Really, what made him so special?
Well, he was known for his military prowess,
a warrior,
his administrative skills,
a scholar,
and his patronage of the arts.
A patron of the arts.
A true Renaissance man.
What were some of his key achievements?
Under Emperor Taizong's rule, the Tang dynasty expanded significantly.
I mean, how significantly are we talking?
He conquered rival kingdoms and extended the empire's influence deep into Central Asia.
Wow, that's huge.
And remember those costly Goguryeo campaigns that drained the Sui dynasty?
Oh, yeah. Those were brutal.
Well, Emperor Taizong finished the job conquering Goguryeo in 668 CE.
Finally settling that score.
Yeah, he was determined to solidify the Tang's dominance in the region.
Makes sense. But what about the Tang dynasty's relationships with its neighbors? How did they navigate that complex web of alliances and rivalries?
They had to be very strategic.
I bet.
Powerful neighbors like Silla,
Silla?
a Korean kingdom that became a close ally,
Oh, wow.
and the Tibetan Empire, which posed a significant military threat.
That sounds tricky.
Yeah, they had to balance diplomacy with military strength.
To maintain their position of power.
Exactly, it was a delicate dance.
So while emperors were busy expanding borders and forging alliances, something truly remarkable was happening within the Tang dynasty, a cultural blossoming that would leave an indelible mark on Chinese civilization.
You're right, this was a time of incredible creativity and innovation.
In art, literature, and technology.
Scholars under the Tang dynasty compiled the 5 Classics of Justice,
5 Classics of Justice,
a definitive edition of Confucian texts.
which helped standardize education and reinforce Confucianism's role in Chinese society. So they were preserving their cultural heritage.
While also expanding their empire.
Okay, but let's talk about what the Tang dynasty is most famous for, its poetry.
Tang dynasty poetry is considered a pinnacle of Chinese literature.
I heard that.
And for good reason, we can't talk about Tang poetry without mentioning Li Bai,
Li Bai,
often referred to as the poet immortal.
poet immortal.
His works are celebrated for their romanticism
Their vivid descriptions of nature.
and their whimsical, almost otherworldly imagery.
Do you have a favorite line?
Oh, so many good ones. A cup of wine under the flowering trees I drink alone, for no friend is near.
His poetry evokes a sense of solitude and beauty that continues to resonate with readers today.
Absolutely timeless.
So who else should we be reading?
Another giant of Tang poetry is Du Fu, often called the poet sage or poet historian.
Interesting.
His works are known for their social and political commentary,
Reflecting the realities of the time.
including the turmoil of the An Lushan Rebellion, which we'll talk about shortly.
Got it.
He wrote lines like, "From my high terrace, I gaze out for thousands of miles. Grieving for my country, I shed countless tears."
His words really convey the weight of responsibility he felt for his people and his country.
Yeah, he was a deep thinker.
Any other poets we should add to our list?
We can't forget Bai Jui,
Bai Jui,
known for his more accessible style.
and his focus on the everyday lives of ordinary people.
His most famous work is Song of Everlasting Sorrow,
A tragic love story.
set against the backdrop of the An Lushan Rebellion.
It's a timeless tale of love and loss that has resonated with readers for centuries.
Absolutely.
So we've got nature, social commentary, and epic love stories.
The Tang Dynasty poets truly covered it all.
But even golden ages faced challenges.
That's true.
What were some of the internal struggles that the Tang dynasty had to overcome?
One of the most significant challenges was the An Lushan Rebellion,
Yeah, Lushan Rebellion.
which erupted in 755 CE.
What happened?
And Lushan, a powerful general, led a revolt against the Tang government,
Oh,
plunging the empire into chaos for nearly a decade.
wow, that's a long time.
This rebellion marked a turning point for the Tang dynasty.
Really, how so?
It weakened its central authority and contributed to its eventual decline.
So even the most prosperous and powerful empires can be vulnerable to internal strife.
And the ambitions of those who seek to challenge the established order.
What were some of the long-term effects of the rebellion?
The An Lushan Rebellion had a devastating impact on the Tang dynasty.
Okay.
It exposed vulnerabilities in the central government's control.
And highlighted the growing power of regional military governors called jidushi. These governors, initially appointed by the Tang court to maintain order in the provinces,
Gradually gained more autonomy,
and became a force to be reckoned with.
further undermining the central government's authority.
It's like one event weakening the central government and leading to a cascade of challenges.
Exactly, a domino effect.
What other factors contributed to the Tang dynasty's decline?
In addition to political instability, the Tang dynasty also faced economic challenges.
Like what?
The adoption of the twice-yearly tax system.
Which was intended to increase revenue,
Right, but it placed a greater burden on farmers and merchants.
leading to social unrest.
Exactly. And then natural disasters and famine also took their toll.
Further weakening the dynasty's grip on power.
It's a lot to deal with.
So how did this once mighty dynasty finally meet its end?
Despite its best efforts to regain stability, the Tang dynasty was weakened by a series of rebellions.
Including the devastating Huangchao Rebellion in the late 9th century.
Huangchao Rebellion.
And finally, in 907 CE, the Tang dynasty fell to Zhou Wen.
a former peasant who rose through the ranks to become a powerful military governor.
His rebellion marks the end of an era.
And China entered a new period of division and uncertainty.
From the mysterious pyramids of Mesoamerica to the powerful dynasties of ancient China, we've explored the triumphs and tragedies of civilizations that have shaped the course of human history.
And their legacies continue to shape our world today.
Their innovations, their art, their stories,
Offer us a glimpse into the past.
and provide valuable insights into the complexities of human societies.
It's amazing how much we can learn from these ancient cultures.
It's a reminder that even the mightiest empires eventually crumble, but their contributions to art, culture, and human knowledge continue to inspire and enlighten us.
So keep exploring.
There's a world of history out there waiting to be discovered.
And each discovery brings us closer to understanding our shared human heritage.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into ancient civilizations. Until next time, keep those history books open and those curious minds engaged.